Hello, my beautiful cuddlebugs. Welcome to Ramblings of a Book Dragon, where we dive into the warmth of good books and unravel stories that feel like a literary hug. I'm Ellie, your host, and I'm thrilled to embark on another cozy adventure with you. So grab a cup of your favorite beverage, snuggle into your cozy reading nook, and let's begin. But before we do, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss a single episode. I really value your feedback and recommendations. Now let's begin. Today, instead of reviewing a book, I'm going to be reviewing The Hunting Wives, which is a Netflix original show, and it's based on a murder mystery novel by Mary Cobb, which has been adapted into a Netflix series. The story follows Sophie, who moves from the East Coast to a small East Texas town and gets drawn into an elite group of wealthy housewives led by the charismatic Margot. When a young girl is found dead and Sophie's gun is identified as the murder weapon, she becomes the prime suspect, uncovering secrets and lies within the group. Now, this is the AI overview, and this show, it was a hot mess, but I listened to another podcast, Right Answers Mostly, and I really loved the way that they described the show because I was looking at reviews of the show, and I was like, people were just hey on this show, and it's just like, with the nudity and the sex and just how bad it was. And it's like, this show is basically like that really bad beach read that it's a trashy beach read that you just love to read. And it's like, okay, you know it's going to be bad. You know it's going to be terrible, but it just sucks you in. And that's what it is. It's a beach read in Netflix form. And not every show has to be an amazing commentary. And it's like, there's sex, there's nudity, there's girl on girl stuff. Like, there are some things that I had issues with, but it's more of a personal preference thing. Like, I wish that we had a little bit more of a takedown thing. It's like, okay, there's going to be spoilers. Like, that's what we all have with this series by now with me. I haven't read the book yet, but after watching the show, I am curious about reading the book because I definitely had some issues with the show, but I did enjoy it for the most part. I didn't like how it ended. Like, I really enjoy, which show was it on Netflix? And it wasn't even based on any sort of show or anything like that, but it was really, really good. Okay, now I'm gonna have to look it up. The Residence. I really liked The Residence because it was a very short series. It was a limited run series, and it was even a 2025 Emmy nominee. And it was just 8 episodes, and it wasn't even renewed for a new season. It's like, now that show would have been fantastic to have been renewed because, this episode is not about that. Even though I definitely would have enjoyed review, I definitely probably should go back and rewatch it and review it because it's basically another murder mystery that is at the White House, and it was just so good because it was a satire, and it was poking fun at the seriousness of poking fun at the seriousness of shows at the White House. But The Hunting Wives, it was trying to be serious, and it was serious, but I don't know. Some of it was just like, it was just messy in all the right. It was a good summer show, but I wish that it just went a little longer and tidied things up a bit more because the way that it ended was on a cliffhanger, and that pissed me off so much. Like, if you're going to do a show based on a book, at least wrap it up at the end of the book instead of making it like, that's the thing that annoys me with a lot of these Netflix shows. And I know that's a thing with TV shows in general. Like, if it's and that's just the thing. I've gotten spoiled with my limited run shows lately. Like, I've just fallen in love with the limited series shows. Like, especially with Korean dramas and Chinese dramas where it's all wrapped up in one go. You know, at the end of the 16 episodes for Korean dramas, at the end of the 32 episodes for the Chinese drama, or sometimes even longer, depending on the show, or shorter, depending on the show, it is done. It is kaput. It is finite. You're not going to have to worry about a cliffhanger. And that's become my issue with some of these shows is either like I definitely have found that I preferred the limited run shows where like The Residence, it was only 8 episodes long and it was a limited run show, but the way they ended it was just okay, it's done, we're good. It would have been nice if they renewed it for another season, and who knows, maybe in the future they will, but for now they're not. But it's fine because it was a mystery that was solved in one go. But with The Hunting Wives, we're trying to solve this mystery of this girl's death, and it sounds like that was the premise of the book, but it felt like it was trying to be a couple different things all at once. And that kind of like it was trying to pull at all these different threads and it was trying to do too much. Like it was trying to be political with Deep South Republicans versus a Democrat, and we don't really know really what anyone does, and there's just some things that were kind of there's a lot that was rubbing me the wrong way with the show, and just the wives are basically all stay at home, rich wives, and it's like, okay, what do all these people do? It's like it was just that just a messy show, but it was also just kind of satisfying in that way where you know it's bad and you know it's going to be bad, but you just also kind of want to watch it just to see how it goes. And you know it's just going to be trash TV and you just appreciate it for that. And that's what's nice. And that was what was nice. But I don't understand how this queen bee element, because that's what it is with Margot, is she's the husband, not husband, she's the wife of this really rich guy, and he's going to be running for governor of Texas. And it turns out that they actually have this secret secret sex thing where they have sex with different women, but they have this agreement and they basically seduce any women that they think are where they both agree are attractive. And of course, Sophie is the one that they agree is attractive. And Sophie gets pulled into Margot's thing, and there's another wife who's the wife of the sheriff. She used to be Margot's pick, but then she got really jealous and she goes digging into Sophie to figure out why this random woman came over at random, and it just was a lot of stuff going on with the whole thing with this girl being murdered, and there was an issue thing with another girl being murdered who had gone missing before, but they never found her body. So there was a lot of mess going on there. And at first, Sophie didn't really get involved, and she was upset, but she didn't really get involved with it until her gun was found and she was brought in for evidence, and it was clear that someone was framing her, but it was a question of who was framing her and why. And I just wish that we had a more satisfying takedown element. And if the show had just gone on for just a little bit longer just to wrap things up, because I did not like it sounds like it's going to be renewed for a second season, but at the same time, it's like, what else are we going to do for a second season with this book? Like, unless this book goes on for another book or there's more information that just didn't, like, it just doesn't make sense why they would push it for a second. Like, they could have just had it go for maybe another episode or two just to kind of wrap things up that way. Like, at least with The Residence, it would have made more sense because with The Residence, she's a detective and she solves crimes. And it makes sense for it to go because she could have gone to a new location, solve a new crime, continue to work with the FBI agent, and continue to have their sass and banter, and it would have just been chef's kiss perfect. But I also see why they wouldn't have decided to continue with that, even though it's a 2025 Emmy nomination, but whatever. What do I know? I know nothing. I know nothing. But yes, I just wanted to come on here today because I realized, to be honest, that I hadn't posted anything in a while because I've been reading a couple books, and I've finished a couple books. I'm well on my way to my 50 books of the year still, thank goodness. But I haven't really read anything that's been really worth review. Like, I haven't really been feeling that strongly about the books I've been reading, and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna force myself to review just for the sake of reviewing, which but, like, with the hunting wise oh, and I also watched K-pop Demon Hunters, and that was the main thing that I was thinking about reviewing, but then it's like, well, I was thinking about doing K-pop Demon Hunters and The Hunting Wives, but it's like, do I wanna try to do them both in one? So I guess now I'm kind of moving into K-pop Demon Hunters because that was so much fun. And I was kind of going in thinking, okay, this is gonna be silly, this is gonna be stupid, which it sounds like is kind of the majority of what people were going into with K-pop Demon Hunters. But it was just so cute. Like the tiger derpy, I think it sounded like that was kind of his unofficial name and it became his official name by Sony. He is just so precious. I love it. And I do have some questions, and it sounds like we're going to be getting like maybe a sequel and a prequel with that, but it just was so fun and so cute. And I love the fact that we are getting more K-pop, Korean stuff. Like, I love a good Korean drama. I love a good K-drama. And that's what I really appreciate. Like, I know there's issues with Netflix. This is how I became introduced to Korean dramas, K-dramas, is through Netflix. And like, yes, there's problems with Netflix. Of course, there's that's just how it is. But I like the fact that they are so inclusive of all these different nationalities. Like you can see all these different shows from all these different countries and you can watch them. Sometimes some of them are dubbed, but then some of them are subbed as well. Like some of them are in their original language, but you get to still watch them in subtitles. Like there's just so many fun shows. But then of course there are still plenty of shows where you have to go to other places. Like there's Viki.com that I absolutely love too. That just has all the cool things for K-dramas and Korean dramas and Chinese dramas, and I think they also have Thai dramas and Japanese dramas. I don't really watch Japanese dramas or Thai dramas or any of the others. I mainly watch Chinese and K dramas. Like when I watched Goblin, I've watched that on Viki. But K-pop Demon Hunters was really surprised me with just how fun and light and cute it was. And I really appreciated the fact that the girls were quirky and cute, but it wasn't too over the top. Like they were just, it felt real in a way. It didn't feel like they were trying to be overly ridiculous or like they weren't trying to be like superhero-y or anything like that. But so this kind of went from a discussion about the hunting wives to into K-pop Demon Hunters. But yeah, that's kind of like what I've been watching lately because I've been kind of leaning more into watching Netflix lately. And like I've been kind of I mean, I've been reading my books. I'm in the middle of a couple of books right now. But yeah, that's so this kind of became a bit more of a ramble of what I've been watching and finishing lately. Let me know if you want an in-depth review of The Residence. I would need to rewatch it, but that's not an issue at all because that it was just such a fun show. And I really should probably rewatch it to do a review because I did really enjoy it. But this probably could have probably been a bit more of an in-depth review of The Hunting Wives, but yeah. Oh, my issue, the issue that one of the big issues that I had, like I have mixed feelings about it, was Graham. Like on the one hand, I understand why it is that he is the way he is because Sophie, it turned out that her part of why they moved to the deep south was because she had killed someone back in Cambridge. Drove. She had a drink and drive and she killed someone. And so Graham basically told her, you're not going to drive anymore. You're not going to drink. And he's kind of a bit controlling in that way. And I understand. And they also had CPS called on them. They finally got that all taken care of with a very good lawyer. So I understand why it is that this is all the way it is. And the fact that he loves her and he's still with her. But at the same time, he's still a bit of a douche because he also mentioned that he felt like they didn't need a maid because she's a housewife now because she doesn't really have a job. And it just was weird. Like they were trying to fit in. That was part of what I was going into. But they were trying to fit in this stuff with the whole thing with the whole political machinations thing. But it was like they didn't really it wasn't really helpful at all, so it was more of a frustration thing because so I see the direction they were going in there, but like I said, it would have been nice if we had a better takedown against Margot the Queen Bitch. But what do I know? What do I know? And I kind of wish that Graham was a bit more of a supportive husband, but I understand, like, if in the context of the situation, I can see what was going on, and he did get her a lawyer in the end, which was good. But I just wanted to, yeah, he just had a bit of a smackable face. I think that's what it was, and I never felt that chemistry. I felt more chemistry with Margot. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, we're not Republican here, but I felt more of that chemistry, even though I didn't want to like her. It's that, yeah. But that's all that is. But that's if you made it this far, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. But I think that is where I'm gonna leave this for right now. Yeah, I gave it a 3 out of 5. I don't think I would actually watch the Hunting Wives again because, and I mean, I probably would wind up watching the second season just to find out if they actually do wind up renewing it for a second season, just because I'm curious about where they're taking this show, because it is a hot mess express. And there's a lot that has been left up in the air. There's been a lot that's been answered, but also not answered. And it's just like, what the actual heck are y'all gonna do with this show? Because the main stuff has been answered. So, like I said, like, why not have just done another episode or two just to kind of, like I've been saying? I don't know why I went into this accent. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get myself out of it. But I'm trying to get myself back out of my accent that I didn't mean to get myself into. I'm so sorry. It just happens sometimes. But yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna leave this because it's just a frustrating show, but it was also a good show. I did really like all the turns, and overall, it was just that kind of trashy show that you watch one time just out of curiosity, just to see how it is, and you're just like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to watch it again. But if it does come out with the second season, I will watch it just out of sheer curiosity. But let me know if you want me to review The Residents and or do a deeper dive into K-pop Demon Hunter since it accidentally came into the show episode, or if there's any Korean dramas or Chinese dramas that you want me to do a deep dive into. I'm slowly watching Ruby, and I'm slowly watching, what's the other show that I'm slowly watching? There's a couple of shows that I'm slowly watching. Some of those shows are so long and they do so much in the drama. It's like, do we really need to do all this? Especially Rui's Royal Love in the Palace. So much drama. There's like, what, 74 episodes? Something like that? Like, do we really need all this? But what do I know? I know nothing. So I will catch you cuddlebugs next time. Stay cozy, stay comfortable. It's a heat wave out there again. We were comfortable for like 3 days, and now we're getting back into the heat wave. So I will catch you next time. Goodbye.